What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse ranch, no hate. I got a quick mixed bag for y'all. So I want to get something out, two things out, and I got a lot to do right now. So I want to get this out. Now, first, I did a video about Florian Marcoux versus Jamie Stewart. Now, Marcoux feels like he was robbed in that fight. I feel like he was robbed in the fight, and I'm pretty sure anybody who's unbiased knows he won that fight. So this guy Coogan, right? He's interviewing Florian Marcoux. Marcoux's upset, and rightfully so, because he won that fight. Definitely. I mean, clearly, I don't even see how anybody could even say that fight was close. They called it a draw. Okay. So Coogan is saying to him, I think that honestly, I think you've done enough, that you did enough to win the fight. That's what he said. Okay? I think you did enough to win the fight, in my honest opinion. Florian Marcoux didn't understand him. He thought he said that I don't think you've done enough, in my honest opinion, to win the fight. That's what he thought he said, that he didn't win. So he said, so you say I didn't win. You don't think I did. Then his Marcoux's trainer corrects him. Now, I'm telling y'all what I know. I'm not assuming. I'm watching and hearing it loud and clear. So when I played the video, you guys that heard it, that thought differently, couldn't hear it. So this is why I'm making this known. Okay. His trainer says, no. He says you win. And then Marcoux says, okay, sorry. Because he thought he was saying he didn't win. Okay. And the purpose of that video, for people who might not have saw the previous video, okay, I was asked a question about why is it that AJ is not as popular in America as he is in the United Kingdom. And basically, that question wasn't just that. It was more like it was what any fighter who's a non-American fighter, why is it that these guys are such great fighters, but people are not acknowledging them? But what that was, okay, was not so much just a popularity thing, but even for the people who know who AJ is, why are they always criticizing him and trying to make it seem like he's the worst heavyweight in the division? He is the unified heavyweight champion of the world, trying to make undisputed, and he's the only one that's constantly pushing for undisputed. Everybody else is just talking about what they want to do, and they're fighting whoever. And okay, so basically, what I was piggybacking off of my own video was the point that, and I feel like it was a good thing to kind of bring up, because people just in general, I can't say if they robbed him because of racism, they didn't like him personally, it was favoritism, or if they were just goddamn blind, because there's no way that Marcoux lost that fight. So whatever their motive was, that's more the focus of what he was saying, okay, was that it's because of where he's from. I'm not from this country. That's basically what he was saying, okay? The focus wasn't if he got robbed or not. And Coogan clearly said that I think that you won the fight, but I think people maybe didn't catch the accent, didn't understand what he was saying. Clearly, that realized, no, Coogan wasn't saying he lost. Coogan said he won the fight. Okay, Coogan said he won the fight. So anybody who didn't hear that, you can hear what I'm saying now, or you can go and watch the interview yourself, and you'll see, like, he's saying that he said, I think that you did enough to win the fight, in my honest opinion. But Marcoux misunderstood him. He's saying, so you don't think you think I don't win the fight? And then his trainer goes, no. He said you win. And then you hear him say, okay, sorry, okay, because he misunderstood him. That's all that was. No biggie. Okay, but you guys, that's what it was. Okay, like I said, I'm not assuming. I know what I heard and saw, so that's what it was. But you can always go watch the IVL video. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is, I was watching the video. This is mainly what I wanted to get at, but I just felt like, let me clear this up. I wasn't going to just make two separate videos just to say that. I was watching a video the other day, an interview with Bernard Hopkins. Now, I don't personally care if a fighter doesn't like another fighter, if a fan doesn't like a fighter, whatever it may be. Okay, but one thing about being in a certain profession is a certain level of professionalism that I think people should just hold. Now, I'm not saying you should be phony and say things you don't mean. No. Sometimes it's best to just, like some people just can't find nothing positive to say. And the guy that was interviewing Bernard Hopkins asked him about the Roy Jones Mike Tyson fight. And the way he even asked that question, I can tell he was thinking it was going to be more something like, hey man, guys get up in age, they still out here doing, trying to make it happen. And this was a celebration for these two men. I'm proud of them. I'm glad for them. They had great careers or something to that effect or whatever. Bernard Hopkins is always finding something negative to say about Roy. Now, here's what I find weird about it. See, the last time, well, before I even say that, because he said basically what Bernard Hopkins said was like, Roy Jones and to Mike Tyson is an embarrassment. They embarrassed themselves in it. Roy Jones was tired in the first round. Look at what they did in there. It's different when somebody's laughing with you and laughing at you. And he starts talking about a comedian, right? The only way somebody should be laughing at me is if I'm a comedian. If I'm a comedian, I say something, hey, what that comedian said, you start laughing because that's what comedians do. But this was an embarrassment, man. He showed like he was disgusted with these guys and all. Okay. And said that, people are laughing at them, not with them. Okay. See, here's my thing about people who's really opinionated like that. Because they act like they're above these same things or that they've done so much better. And they think we forget. The last time we saw you, Bernard Hopkins, we saw the bottoms of your feet up in the air. You fell straight back to the floor. Your ankle never clipped or touched the table going down. If anything, I could understand you saying you hurt your back or the back of your head, but all of a sudden he gets up. He purposely has his back to the ring. He's ignoring the 20 count because he didn't want to get back in there. And all of a sudden he's in the ring. See, he's lying, telling Max Kellerman, we're here fighting, mixing it up, and, next thing I know, I'm getting pushed out of the ring. This is Dave Allen all over again. No, that guy clearly punched you out the ring. You fell out the ring. You didn't want to continue with that smoke. Simple. Oh, my ankle's real swollen up, sitting in the back. We didn't see your ankle. We just saw you sitting there, supposedly with ice on your ankle or whatever. You also told us that Oscar De La Hoya really beat Floyd Mayweather. You also was trying desperately to get a fight with Floyd Mayweather. You fight at 175 pounds talking about you can get down to 147. How desperate was that? And I'm like, really? Why are you not making that same energy to fight like Andre Ward at the time, or somebody who's, we saw what happened to you, when you fought Kovalev. Now, yeah, we can look and say, yeah, this wasn't a prime Bernard Hopkins, true indeed. But you knew that before you went in there. You did nothing but cover up all night. You didn't fight. But more importantly and worse than that, look at how you went out. You went out, like I said, with your feet up in the air. You went out in a missionary position. So how could you sit here and be so negative toward these guys when just maybe 5-6 months ago, might have been a little bit more than that, you was sitting here, issued a challenge to Roy Jones. Remember that? You and some guy sitting there, yeah, you beat me, I beat you, let's do it again for the tiebreaker. Roy Jones was like, hey, let me know when and where, so I can get time. Let me know what weight, so I know what kind of weight out shape I need to be in, what kind of weight to get my weight down. I don't know what happened with that, where it went. But see, prior to that, you were saying that Roy Jones ain't having no more. He was washed up. So my thing was, well, damn, if he's washed up and don't have it no more, why would you want to fight him? Well, would it even matter? Would it even matter who won between you? It didn't even matter. The rematch didn't even matter. The rematch didn't even matter. You was clearly better than Roy Jones at that time, and you're older than Roy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where you get the 52 for, because from what I've always known, you've been, at least 4 years older than Roy Jones. So I don't know where the 52 came from. We know Roy's 51. But at the same time, regardless, look, why would you want to fight a guy that's over the hill and so past his prime that, man, I beat this guy. And everybody knows that Roy was past his prime. You wanted to fight him for a tiebreaker. What does a tiebreaker? How petty is that? I mean, out of all the fights that Sugar Ray Leonard had with Roberto Duran, they talk about the first and second one. You never hear them talk about that third one. That third one stunk up the whole building. It should have never happened, but it did. Sugar Ray Leonard got booed out the building at the end of that at the end of that fight. Sugar Ray got booed. Roberto Duran was fat and out of shape, old, and Sugar Ray was about what 35, 30, 30 something, 30 mid 30s, mid early 30s. It's because he's about between 33 and 35. Duran was like 38, 39, whatever he's. I mean, but he was all sloppy and just didn't have it anymore. And Ray couldn't get him out of there. And Ray got booed. They booed Ray more because it's like, come on, man. We could see Duran is over the hill. And, Ray was trying to get and talk about another fight. We wanted to see him like fight a Michael Nunn or a James Toney. Fight somebody like that. That's what we wanted to see. Now, of course, he went and fought Terry Norris and got annihilated. But at the same time, regardless, at the end of the day, the point was that fight should have never happened. You and Roy were like, Roy was what when he fought you? 41? You were like 45, 46, something, 40, something like that, 44, 45, something like that. But either way, man, the whole point is, because remember, I remember Roy Jones calling you an old man, brought Viagra up on the stage and all that, and threw a bag of Viagra at you and all that. Look, it's that kind of negativity, man, that I just notice people always have. Certain fighters just always have this, I can't just give a person props. And if I do give them props, I'm going to give them some half-ass props, or I'm going to give them props. Then the next time I'm asked a question about them, I'm going to bash them. Even if nothing's happened between that time versus the next time you interviewed. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get that out there, man, because you know what? Like I said, what I saw with Roy Jones and Mike Tyson is what I expected to see. I wasn't shocked at all about what I saw. I did videos saying these guys are not going to try to go at each other. Trust me. Y'all thinking, oh, this is Mike Tyson. Everybody, for some reason, lost their shit and went into this whole trance of, oh, Mike Tyson's going to do this and this. And I'm like, no, it's an exhibition. They're not going to let these guys do this. The no head guard, the 10-ounce gloves, 8 rounds. And yeah, that had people thinking, nah, this is going to be real. Because if that's the case, they'd just let them have keep the head guards and yeah, they're trying to sell a fight, man. They're trying to sell an event, period. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. And that's all it was homage and a celebration. Like I said, Mauricio Suleiman just happened to be on hand with 2 WBC belts, right? Just in case there was a draw, I guess, right? And it just happened to be a draw. So anyway, Bernard Hopkins, dude is hating, man. He always does that. He always has a way to try to make everybody look like he has the answers for everybody, all the solutions for everybody. But we've seen you go in there. We've seen you take your losses. And, as a fighter, I like what Bernard Hopkins has done. I respect his career. But the shit that comes out of his mouth, a lot of times I'm like, bro, what the hell is wrong with you, man? What will you be coming up with this stuff? And this is one of those times. Pause. Yeah, so this is one of those times when Bernard Hopkins is back on that nonsense. I guess that's just what it is with him. But anyway, moving on. Word is the fight is off with Povetkin and Dillian Whyte. And I'm getting mixed stories about why. And the first thing I heard was that Povetkin is still sick. So I don't know that I don't know that I heard he got tested again. He still has COVID. Then I'm hearing about, he's just, not really into this fight, or I don't know. Let me say this though. From what I understand with Dillian Whyte, he's saying, you know what? He's tired of waiting for Povetkin. He wants to move on. You know what? Here's the thing. Dillian had a shot with AJ. I'm not talking about the first fight. I'm talking afterwards. I remember they made an offer to him, and he declined the offer, and he went and fought someone else. So, okay. It's not like he didn't have his shot. I respect Dillian Whyte's hustle and what he was doing. I feel like he deserved, like he earned that. And the fact that they put him on the back burner. But here's the thing. Just like he didn't have to fight Povetkin, and he did. Okay, well, he did that. Povetkin is in a position right now where if Dillian Whyte moves on, and then let's just say all of a sudden Povetkin gets better, I still feel like this. Povetkin won the fight. Nobody's really enthused to see Povetkin versus Tyson Fury, to be honest with you. But if if Dillian White does move on, I don't think it's going to be. And I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just saying if he does, I don't think they're going to fight for him to get his spot back with Povetkin. Unless Povetkin doesn't have a fight, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I just had my fight. What's up with Povetkin? Is he next or what? Maybe they're prolonging it. I don't know. But from what I understand, I'm hearing that he wants to fight Wilder. And I said, you know what? That would be cool. Because neither one of them need a tune-up. Right? Wilder said he's moving on from Fury. And Dylan is saying he's tired of waiting for Povetkin. He's ready to go. Why not? Dylan wasn't having a tune-up anyway. He was going right straight back in against the guy that just beat him. They both have a loss. They both have something to prove. The same way I said about Wilder versus Andy Ruiz. So, hey, if he wants Wilder, because now I'm hearing stories about Wilder saying that, no, the fight between him and Fury is still going to happen in February. But then I'm hearing, like, no, we already know. I don't know why people keep making this story about how, oh, it's confirmed that Tyson Fury is not obligated to fight Wilder. We know he's not obligated because the contract has expired. We know that. So all this mediation stuff, we haven't even heard anything about what actually happened. So for everybody that keep talking, just trying to make a story, trying to get views or whatever they're doing, I'm not even getting into that. I listen to what's going on. So, okay, now before I speak on it, let me hear what's going on. And it's like, this has been a while now. So I said, you know what, let me just make mentions of this, because if Wilder and Dillian fight, that's a fight that should happen. No different from, Eddie Hearn saying Fury versus AJ is going to happen, whether it's for titles or not. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure the British fans want undisputed on British soil, and that's understandable. And I that's the fight I want to see in heavyweights. That's the biggest fight that I want to see in heavyweights is those two, regardless to where they fight. But I think that they would only be right. They fight, yeah. Why not take it on British territory? I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, if those two fighters of that caliber can fight, and whether it's for titles or not, I just feel like between those two, the fight just means that much more, especially if it's for undisputed, because they're two of the top guys in the division, But yeah, man, why not Dylan versus Wilder? Hey, let's stop all the talking. Let's see who's the best. Let's see who wins. Because even for me, I was pulling for Dylan to like keep his spot and hey man, he earned it. But it's like, look, man, you already fought somebody you didn't have to fight. You lost. You was going straight back in there. That person's not ready, right? So there's no need to go take a soft touch. For what? For what? Just to get a fight in? And no. So if he's saying he wants Wilder, and Wilder is saying he want to fight, and that he basically he's ready to go, and he's going to fight somebody he don't know who it's going to be, right? And you feel like, of course, he's saying that he was cheated. He didn't lose fair and square. Okay, well, Dylan's ready. You're ready. Why not? I think the timing is right. Why not? Now, I still don't know where it leads Tyson Fury. And then what's going to happen with Povetkin? Now, let's just say the winner. Let's say if Deontay and Dylan fights in the winner, let's say if Povetkin is ready. Does that person fight Povetkin? Does that person go and fight Fury? What's happening? See, we don't know that. Is Fury going to fight AJ? Or is AJ going to fight Usyk? Because we know that's his mandatory. And then AJ said the other day that he's looking like him and Usyk is more likely to happen than him and Fury, because pretty much in a nutshell, Fury's talking, but there's no business moves being made. which is why I said in the video that I made when I said we don't want to see Fury. Don't get. We know you can fight Fury. We know you got heart. We already know that. We know what you can do. But don't, so there's no reason to start playing head games and mind games, and then you're talking all this. He's a bum. I'll knock him out. Getting T-shirts made, but then go fight some actual Dasa. Okay, no, we don't want that. You got the WBC belt. Okay, the whole point, like I said, we felt like the belt was being held hostage. That's why we needed somebody else to get that belt. You have it. So if you're clear to fight AJ, and we know that, and also the WBO, they're not going to step aside so AJ can fight Fury. So he's going to have to fight Usyk unless he's willing to give up the WBO. And honestly, I don't see, like, you have your eyes set on undisputed. Why just throw your title away just for the sake of fighting one particular guy? Go fight Usyk. That's another huge fight. People going to criticize you regardless. If you knock them out early, if you outbox them, whatever, they're still going to criticize you. But people are always going to know. Look, the fight's going to be what it is. I can't imagine what it's going to be. I'm not doing all of that. When it happens, it happens. But should he fight Usyk and beat him? And I think he should. Whoever is standing, okay? AJ, Fury, Dillian, Wilder. Those four right now, we need to have something happen. Okay? We need to have something happen. Because we got guys too, like Joseph Parker out there, Joe Joyce, still in the mix. You understand what I'm saying? Like, Andy Ruiz. We got those guys still out there. So we need to have these guys fight. It's like AJ just did what he had to do. Now who's next to step up and have a fight? We've yet to see yet with these heavyweights. But I'm all for Dillian versus Wilder. It is what it is, man. Because it's like we just keep waiting. There's always a delay. You give a date, then all of a sudden that date is changed and nothing happens. And so we need that. So look, let me know in the comments what y'all think. Y'all ready to see? I would definitely rather see Dillian White versus Wilder. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. May the best man win. And you know what? We need for these fights to happen. Nobody's getting any younger. And at some point, we're going to end up having fights where there's going to be excuses about the person's age, or this was wrong with that person. This fight should have happened 3 years ago, yada, 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 and all this nonsense. There's no reason for these fights to not happen now. COVID is not going any goddamn where. COVID's not going anywhere. So all these fights that was postponed because of COVID, I get it, but it's time to keep moving. So let me know what y'all think. Dillian White, Deontay Wilder. Y'all with that fight? Y'all feeling that fight? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Listen, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people. And that's all I'm going to say on this video. Catch y'all on the next one.